Mhm.
came through like a neighborhood angel. He gave Granddad a whole restaurant space rent-free, told him to do whatever he wanted with it. No permits, no health inspection, no drama. That's not a blessing, that's bait.
And in today's video, we have the Boondocks taught you how to get rich, but nobody noticed. We about to find out if Boondocks really taught us tips on how to get rich, because you know, man, we got the elements in our show. You hear the music, you hear the ending. Boondocks for life.
Facts. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to find out what I missed. I might have to go back and watch again.
You probably watched the itis thinking it was just another wild Boondocks episode. Granddad opens a restaurant,
Facts.
eat too much, pass out, chaos erupts.
This is one of my favorite episodes.
Now, look deeper. This wasn't about food, it was about finesse. About how Ed.
This is one of my favorite episodes, y'all. Y'all watch Boondocks? Let me know in the chat.
Out of Monopoly.
Ed Winsler was definitely.
He cared about the location. And when that location turned
That nigga
into
was
a
definitely a
crime
finesser.
magnet,
But
that's when he swooped in and bought the park cheap.
the
This
first
episode
black
is more
white
than
guy.
comedy. It's a blueprint for how the powerful exploit culture and community pride to profit. That's how the game gets played. Let's find out. Lesson
Yeah, bro,
number
but
one.
Boondocks been
Not
showing
every
us
opportunity
everything
is for you.
about the
At
world.
first glance, Ed Winsler came through like a neighborhood angel. He gave Granddad a whole restaurant space rent-free, told him to do whatever he wanted with it. No permits, no health inspection, no drama. That's not a blessing, that's bait. See, when somebody rich gives you something without asking for anything in return,
Ambition is a rate says
you're not getting hooked up.
Yo, what up, Luca? I was just thinking about you, bro.
Not the Tom.
Glad to see you made it, bro.
Anybody else who might read the fine print. He gave it to Granddad, a man who once tried to serve Luther burgers and fried donuts to 2 kids for breakfast. That's not opportunity, that's targeting. And that's the first lesson. If the deal seems too easy, you're probably the one being sold.
Ambition is a rate says.
Granddad,
sorry, I won't be with y'all today.
All good, brother. I'm glad to see you're all good, though, fam.
Restaurant blew up fast.
Facts. Catch us tomorrow if you're available, bro.
Serving crack level soul food in the middle of a black neighborhood.
Gonna be back tomorrow.
No marketing plan, no SEO, just chicken grease and sweet tea strong enough to put a grown man in a coma. But that's what made it dangerous.
Ambition is a rate says.
Knew exactly
I'm out
what
of
that
town.
food was going to do.
Okay.
Not just to stomachs.
That's what's
but to
up,
the
bro.
property
Enjoy.
value, to the foot traffic, to the neighborhood vibe. He didn't care if people got high blood pressure. He cared if the area got bad enough to buy on the low. Let's be real. When have you ever seen a white billionaire support black food culture?
Ambition
with
is a
no
rate
cash?
says.
This man.
Yeah, bro, I'm really sorry for that.
Nah, you good, gang.
Yeah, you good, bro. Enjoy your time, man.
For sure. Just chill, vibe out. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see you tomorrow, or whenever you get back in town. It don't matter. You know we here, bro. We family.
Owns the bank, the real estate firm, the housing authority. And you think he just wants to help a retired black man serve collard greens in the park? He knew Granddad
Ambition
wasn't
is a rate
thinking long
says.
term.
I love y'all,
Wasn't
man.
looking at zoning,
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
checking leases. The traffic clogged up the streets. The noise drove families away. Kids stopped going to the playground.
Maddie's family, bro. We
Crime
locked
started
in.
creeping in. And
Sure.
health issues off the charts. And Winsler. He watched it all happen like a man waiting on bread to rise. Calm,
And Maddie,
patient.
I don't even know. I can't even
That
think about this
wild
video no more.
guy
Maddie got
cheated
me
the
excited.
By the end of the episode, the itis restaurant was shut down. Health officials dragged it. The community blamed it. The park looked like a war zone.
Nah, I
And
get
nobody
this
wanted to touch
concept
it.
though. It's like
Nobody but Ed Winsler.
it's like they say when something
and bought it up
comes
on the
by
low.
too easily,
That's not just
it's
strategy.
usually too
That's
good to be true.
gentrification 101.
Yeah.
Step 1. Let the chaos play
Well,
out.
when something is too
Step
good to
2,
be true,
use that chaos to devalue
it's
your
usually a
neighborhood.
setup.
Yeah.
Step 3, buy
But that's what
cheap.
happens in real
Step
life.
4,
Yeah.
flip it or develop it later for 20 times the value. And the wild part, he didn't have to do any, no crime himself, no lies, just gave someone the
See, I
rope
wasn't gonna
and
smoke
let them
tonight,
hang
man, but y'all
themselves.
give me my
Let's see.
celebration joint.
See, People think real
Celebrate.
estate is about buildings. It's
Man,
not.
funny.
It's about vibe. You kill the culture, the
Damn.
community dips. You kill the safety, families leave. You kill the health, nobody wants to live next door. And that's when the prices drop low enough for the sharks to swim in. Didn't need bulldozers. He had hot sauce and pork fat. He didn't need eminent domain. He had granddad and a dream. If you don't see the full game board, you are the piece being moved. You laughing at Huey looking like a conspiracy theorist, but he was the only one who saw it. The only one who realized the game was rigged before the first burger was served.
That's the pilot
That's not just
episode.
a
I remember
cartoon.
that drawing.
That's real life in every city where the corner store becomes a Whole Foods and you can't afford the rent no more. So next time somebody hands you an
Real talk.
opportunity, ask why. Ask who benefits. Ask who really owns the outcome. Because if you ain't asking those questions, you're probably the one getting cooked. Lesson number 3. Culture is the hook. Profit is the goal.
goal.
Granddad wasn't trying to gentrify the hood. He just wanted to cook. He called it the Itis, a soul food spot serving ribs so greasy and delicious, they knocked people straight into a coma. Folks lined up for a plate like it was a Jordan drop. It felt like Sunday dinner at Big Mama's house. But here's the twist. All that home-cooked love, it was part of a bigger play. See, Ed wasn't in love with fried food. He was in love with leverage. He knew soul food would draw crowds. And he knew those crowds would bring problems. Loud music, heart attacks, fistfights in the parking lot. The kind of problems that make neighborhoods look like they're falling apart. Use Granddad's culture as bait. This ain't just cartoon logic either. In real life, culture gets flipped into a business weapon every day. Think about Brooklyn. In cities across America, Black food, music, fashion, even slang become a marketing engine for developers, new tenants, and hip investors. A taco truck opens, then a craft beer spot. Next thing you know, rent doubled and your landlord won't fix the heat. It's not the culture that's a threat. It's the folks buying the property around it who know how to use culture as a cover, just like Onceler did. And here's the worst part.
There's so many white people doing this, bro.
He thought he was building
so many billionaires that come in, act like they're trying to help the community, but they're like really just trying to profit. And it's evident, bro. Even when you see like some of these creators come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help," like Kai. Streamer University, prime example. The profit margins was to help everybody, but in itself, in the end, he became even more mainstream. Your grandma knows about Kai.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Built was a distraction while he was serving.
When I first seen this,
serving paperwork.
It reminded me of the Aiden Ross.
So
when he said he'll buy Kaya
culture can be powerful.
Restaurant, but he has to get 80% of the profit.
Oh, that's crazy. You're glad she didn't do that. That's slavery.
What?
Look at Popeyes. All that black flavor. Less than 2% of locations are black owned. Or TikTok, where creators start trends, but some influencer in Calabasas gets the brand deal. They want your vibe, but they ain't paying for your survival. Granddad cooked up something special, but the profits, they went somewhere else. That's not just a Boondocks plot line, that's business. And speaking of business, let's talk about how the real winners don't rush in loud. They wait in silence. Lesson number 4. Rich men don't move fast, they move smart. Let's be real. Ed Onceler barely said a word all episode. He didn't argue, didn't hustle, didn't even pull strings out loud. He just sat back.
He didn't even come up with no solution.
While everyone else was busy eating themselves into food comas.
He's just like an Uncle Sam. You do all the work,
not by force,
and we take some off the top.
Then, right when the news picked up the chaos, right when the public
let me get them taxes, boy.
33 says,
dirt cheap.
Eve never seen the Boondocks, but I want to watch it now after seeing a bit of this video.
That's an elite level strategy.
Trust me, bro.
You gotta watch the Boondocks, bro. Classic.
In fact, we'll watch an episode with you today after this.
Straight from the world of real estate.
Watching it together as a family again.
It's called blight investing, where investors intentionally let areas fall apart, then swoop in to buy low and sell high. It's slow, it's quiet, And it works. Take Dan Gilbert in Detroit. He bought hundreds of buildings when the city was crumbling, then profited
Not the
when
IT
it
guy
rebounded.
033
Or Kushner
says
companies in
the
Baltimore,
animation is freaking dope as
acquiring
heck.
distressed housing
Yeah.
and raising
Aaron
rents
Magruder
when
had a
people
great.
had nowhere else
Now
to
you
go.
see like how you
The
be spitting
playbook is
facts.
always the same.
When it comes to Boondocks, I
Let the
know how to
blocks
spit facts.
decline, either by ignoring it
For
or
sure.
enabling chaos.
Aaron Magruder is the
Wait
guy
until
who did
prices
the
crash,
animation.
then flip. That
Yeah.
sounds familiar,
Facts
right?
like you right now.
Didn't stop Granddad
Fun
because
fact.
he needed the neighborhood to look bad on paper. He needed headlines about clogged arteries and criminal activity. He needed traffic jams and noise complaints. He needed the itis to feel like a threat because problems drive prices down. This is why rich men don't panic. They let the storm rage, especially if they seeded the clouds. So what is the lesson here? In business, fast money gets taxed the hardest.
Yeah.
Smart money plays long. It's not just about flipping burgers. It's about flipping narratives, controlling the perception of value. Wunkler knew how to wait out the hype. Granddad got excited and jumped. Wunkler stayed patient and bought low. It's a dangerous reminder that in capitalism, being loud ain't the same as being powerful. Real power often shows up in silence, in paperwork, in the wait. So the next time someone gives you an opportunity, ask yourself, who's really eating and who's just cooking? Because Wunkler, he didn't run the restaurant, he ran the land. And that's the difference between a paycheck and a portfolio. Lesson number 5.
For sure.
Good intentions don't beat game. Granddad wasn't out here scheming to tear the community down. He wasn't even thinking about profit. All he wanted was to create something good, something rooted in his culture. That soul food joint was his dream. He thought he was bringing people together, offering comfort and giving folks a place to relax. For him, it wasn't about the money, it was about legacy. But Ed Wunkler didn't care about any of that. Wunkler was playing chess while Granddad was playing checkers. Granddad's restaurant wasn't just food. It was a moment, a piece of home. But Ed Wunkler saw it for what it really was, an opportunity to manipulate the neighborhood into a decline. He understood something that Granddad didn't. Business isn't about good intentions. It's about understanding the game. Real life shows us this lesson over and over again. Good people with good ideas often get steamrolled by those who know how to work the system. That's exactly what happened in the itis. Granddad thought he was doing good for his community, but he didn't understand that he was just a pawn in a larger game. Wunkler knew exactly how to set the trap. He let Granddad open the restaurant because he understood that it would disrupt the neighborhood. The food was good, but the side effects, crime, health issues, chaos, would drag down the property values and give him the perfect opportunity to swoop in and buy the land on the cheap. Granddad didn't have the business acumen to see that. His focus was on feeding people, not on playing a game of economic chess. And as we saw, it cost him.
Business over, man. There's a reason why, when you ask, why does McDonald's give us toxic, poisonous food that we know is killing us? McDonald's didn't start off like that. McDonald's wanted to be the best burger joint in America. I watched the history on the McDonald's. If y'all haven't, it's on YouTube. You can find out the history of McDonald's here on YouTube. That's where I watched it.
Yeah.
Right? McDonald's wanted to be one of the best burger joints in America. Like what happens when anybody sells a company, it becomes a franchise. It's really a big stock. There's a building somewhere in Seattle. McDonald's has many buildings across Seattle where it's nothing food related. Niggas coming in there, business suits, shirt and ties and shit.
Yeah.
Talking about, oh, this week, Nebraska fell off 15%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when it gets to that point, niggas aren't caring about the food no more, bro. Niggas are trying to cut costs. Oh, let's source the beef from here. They say it might have horse in it. Yeah, we don't give a fuck. We're going to save 15 cents on the pound. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the same thing with the fries. You say, why the fries never expire? Yeah. Because those not real potatoes, bro. Real potatoes cost money.
Just like you said, they went from being the best, trying to be the best burger joint, to just trying to make you addicted to the food.
Because that keeps their profits up.
Yeah, that's going to keep you coming back. Trust me, the McDonald's by my house, always jumping.
Even that, bruh. I remember one time we came from a party, 3 in the morning, we fried, we faded. We just, at that time, you're looking for the McDonald's.
There's nothing else open.
Bruh, McDonald's had a line wrapped around that bit.
Facts.
And I'm talking about the back street that this nigga place was already closed, under construction. Niggas still lining up.
Particularly in marginalized communities.
You want to find the next McDonald's? What? Nah, nigga, I'm here.
They might have the best product, the best intentions, but they're competing in a system stacked against them. Business isn't just about what you do and how you position yourself to survive the long game. Understanding the chessboard, the players, the moves, the end game is critical. In real life, we see companies that buy up land and then let it sit. They wait for the right moment when prices are low and neighborhoods start to decline. They buy properties on the cheap, often pushing out residents who have lived there for generations. It's all about timing, strategy, and waiting for your opponents or even allies to fall into place. The game isn't about being right or being good. It's about knowing how to play, when to move, and how to protect your assets while you're still in the game. You can mean well and still lose big if you don't know the game you're playing. You thought it was just about fried chicken, but this episode gave you the real recipe for success. At least how the rich and powerful play the game. Let the hood decline. Watch from the sidelines as the community you're targeting starts to fall apart. Let crime, poor health, and disrepair work their magic.
I ain't gonna lie, this shit was so ahead of its time. Even that scene with the girl just dancing, bro, that was before TikTok. That was before, I think this shit was in the midst of Vine. And the nigga Aaron McGruder said, oh yeah. This is the end of time. Imagine a nigga look at something one time and say, oh yeah, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
And put a whole animation on it. The nigga's goated.
In this case, Wunsler used Granddad's restaurant, a symbol of Black culture, as bait to draw people to the area. He knew exactly how culture would attract attention and drive the gentrification process forward. Buy it back for pennies. As the area starts to decline, the value of the land decreases. That's when you swoop in and buy it for a fraction of its worth, capitalizing on the work others did to push the area down. Profit off the rebuild. Once you own the land, you can sit back and wait for the neighborhood to gentrify. Once the prices rise again, you'll make a killing, all while the people who helped create the vibe are pushed out. It isn't just a cartoon.
This is happening.
Class in how powerful manipulate the block. While you're
gang, this is what's happening to countries. Fuck a block.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna speak on at the end of this video.
TRaw.
Yeah, I mean, this is really what's happening to us in America, bro. Make these motherfuckers work hard for pennies on a dollar while I'm getting the dollars.
While I'm getting the real dollars.
You feel me? Like, let these niggas work hard while I take the taxes. You feel me? Let these hooligans over here that usually don't buy back the block devalue the neighborhood, and I come out and buy this shit for crumbs.
Because they devalued it.
Yeah, and then make profit.
Yeah, now I put the construction work. The city was already, imagine this. The city was already going to rebuild. Put in the work to do all of the, to fix it up. But right before the city comes in, I come in and buy it, knowing that they're still going to fix it up. So I only got to put in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I still reap the rewards.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so what I would say is, bro, as the culture, let's buy back the block, bro, because this is why our areas are getting gentrified, because they let us devalue it for so long, and then they just swoop in, buy it, build it up, and now this is a tourist area.
Yeah, man, if you made it this far in the video, man, we love y'all. We're grateful for y'all. If y'all learned anything in this video, type in down below. Do you agree with our take? Reading all the comments, man. See y'all in the next one. We out.